Welcome, 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 welcome. Happy Monday. Welcome, people, to another episode. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed your weekend, chilled out. We did something that recharged your batteries because we're here to fucking spend them. All right, we're going to spend our batteries. We're going to spend the energy that we collected on the weekend in our batteries today. Okay. What happened sort of, oh, Instagram froze. Okay, whatever. That's fine. Whatever. I'm gonna restart that up right now. But when you join, guys and girls, let me know how your day is going as I reboot this. Get this to work over here so we can try to have a conversation with the whole entire squad and get this one out because this one's like a motivational one. This is one that I want you guys and girls to hear. This is one that I want you guys and girls to focus on, as you go along your week, throughout your week, and of course your Monday, right? Because Monday's when shit gets real. All right. So welcome, welcome, welcome. You know what's up. Welcome to another episode. Instagram just froze, so I'm rebooting. And we're gonna pick up where I left off, but deep, so it's all good. All right. I'm just gonna pin the title over here. I know what we're talking about on Insta, and then dive into the meat and potatoes. Again, very short and sweet, motivational. Sort of not sort of, but 100% human. All right. I want you guys and girls to just take a breath there and like just take it in everything that you see on social media, every person that you see that you maybe look up to that like is inspiring you or anything like that, on social media is a human being. Okay, we know this. That's simple. We all know that. But the thing is this: we look at these people, these things, these achievements, and then compare ourselves to them, and then sort of like we draw like a bridge in between like, oh, there's no way I could fucking get that successful at whatever this person's doing or whoever inspires you. There's no way you can get that body. There's no way you can get that, like, the wealth or whatever, like whoever's inspiring you or whatever you're seeing on social media. Given that you're probably viewing me on social media right now, if you are tuning into any one of the streams that are currently broadcasting, um, and this is something that I've experienced too, like myself. And I'm here to tell you, we are more like, I am more like you than you think we actually are. Um, Even though you may look at some of my pictures and say, "Oh, this physique is like really great and like kind of impossible to achieve or looks unrealistic or something." Like, believe me, I think those thoughts about other people too. And guys and girls, if you have questions and comments, drop them down. I will be going through them as I go through today's episode. And to answer Yeezy's question, are most humans narcissistic? I don't know most humans, but I know that in human nature, being narcissistic isn't a surprise. It's like a common thing, especially in Western culture. So I'd give you like an easy yes on that, even though I don't know most humans or I haven't really experienced people outside of like the Western hemisphere. But anyway, I'm here to talk to you about it, guys and girls. If I can do it, so can you. Like like we all have our own extremes. Like my extreme would be competing one day on the Olympia stage. Like that's like the parallel that I could draw to you guys and girls. Like when you look at me to say, okay, well, I want to look like that guy. That's what you may seem, you may think at the beginning might be like impossible, right? It just may look or feel unrealistic, or you might think that you're like too optimistic with making a goal to look like someone that inspires you, or to, recreate your physique or your mindset or your wealth in a way that, resembles someone that inspires you. And like for me, even though people get that feeling from me, which I'm aware of, I still get that feeling from other people. So it never really ends. And to be honest with you guys and girls, it happens to everybody, especially the people that you look up to. Everybody doubts themselves. Everybody thinks that, this other person has it easier. Everybody thinks that the other person, just has like a better chance because of the way that they were brought up or because of what they have and things of that sort. When in actuality, even though that could be the case, like that could very well be true. Like they could have, we'll say like a predisposed benefit, but or opportunity that would allow, for things to be easier for them. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that they don't have, like, in their own way, in their own perspective, like a bridge to cross, right? So like for me, like when I look at it, when I take it in, because I was able to be like, I'm still on the other side is how I look at it. Like I still do consider myself to be, although like I do post a lot of content on social media, somewhat an absorber of it. And I think like to a certain extent, like you're going to be, even if you do just post content on social media, like to a certain extent, you will be, absorbing content and being inspired by stuff and subconsciously comparing things. And because I do that, I know that there are other people that do the same thing in like in retrospect, but to like my position with my physique, right? And I'm here to remind you, like, it may look ridiculously outlandish. It may look like impossibly difficult to achieve, to have a physique like mine, or for anybody that may inspire you to have anything that they do or like they do. It may seem like just outlandish and like out of reach, but I'll tell you personally, it's not as far as you think. Because I mean, when you think about it, yeah, I get it. It feels far away. It feels impossible if you think about it. But if you're not thinking about it and you're just putting in the actions day after day, and when I say the actions, I'm not talking about doing everything that you need to do perfectly and like working towards this grandiose, like, nah, like I'm saying, like, if you wanted to say build muscle or like look like Matt, we'll say, just to put it out there, assuming that I inspire you or my physique inspires you, all you've got to do is do one thing that Matt would do every day. And that's actually just going to bring you closer to it, right? If you think about it, yeah, it's like a billion trillion steps. But if you're not thinking about it and you just continue doing it anyway, doing that one thing, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's eating right, eventually you're going to get close. You're going to get close, right? And when you start to see that, when you start to see the changes in the mirror, when you start to see the changes in your mindset, because you're allowing other people to inspire you as opposed to hold you down in comparison, it becomes a lot more like easy to continue with that momentum and progress in whatever way, shape, or form, whether it be physical, whether it be mental, financial, whoever inspires you, right? So, like for myself, there are so many bodybuilders that I look up to, that I would look like or look at and say, I want to like emulate these guys in a certain way. But it just seems so far away. It just seems like just so freaking impossible. But I have to realize that all I've got to do is the one thing that I know they all do every day, right? Which is stay on top of my health and fitness in whatever way that means. Like, because again, I'm not going to copy what they're doing. It may not work for me, but what I do know is that they're being integral with their time and that they're being intentional with everything that they do when it comes to their body, what they feed it, how they train it, how much rest that they get and they give it. So, like those things matter. And I guess that's putting it in one way only. Specifically talking about changing your body, but it goes in many different ways, like many different ways for whoever inspires you. Okay, so the one thing that I want to just drop you guys and girls off with here today, real quick on this live stream slash podcast is this just little quote that I have as a title. If I can do it, so can you. There was a point where I was super fucking skinny, you know, 140 pounds, 135 pounds, looking up at all the bodybuilders that still inspire me till today. And like fast forward 10 years from that point, that 8 years, 10 years from that point in time of me being 135 pounds, like look at it. I've won a national championship in bodybuilding naturally. I've, pretty much won almost every show that I've ever competed at. And I've continued to improve each and every single year, growing my muscle, getting stronger mentally, getting more consistent, learning more about nutrition, and now even helping others do the same thing because I was in that position once upon a time. Right. So that's one thing that I want you guys and girls to just be aware of. It may seem impossible, especially when you're on social media comparing yourself to John and their fucking neighbor or whoever inspires you. But I'll tell you this much, allow that image to inspire you. Don't be or try your best because I know it's impossible to say not to, but try your best to not let the comparison of yourself and this person that you're actually inspired by, weigh you down mentally, because they, in a sense, probably are still looking up at other people that they feel they can't catch, and they're the people that you're looking up to. So this thing, as I said, never ends. It's like a never-ending roller coaster, never-ending like circle, right? So the only difference between them and you is the fact that they believed if the other person could do it, they could do it too. And all that you need to do, guys and girls, is believe that you can do it. And then who knows, maybe one day you're going to be that inspiration that somebody else looks up to, right? Crush the comparison syndrome. It's not about comparing yourself, who's better, who's worse. It's learn how did you do that and how could you teach me? How could you help me? And then when you get in that position, how can you help everybody else get to your position? That's the mindset. If I can do it, you can do it too. All right, guys and girls, that's it. That's all. I'm gonna run up, crush these legs, If you can't tell by that sweater already, this is my infamous leg day sweater. Brittany says, only compete with yourself. Exactly. Right. So you're competing with yourself. Although you're going to subconsciously compare yourself with others, especially in this day and age, your social media, so on and so forth. But you're better off collecting inspiration than comparing yourself to someone or something, and you don't know what the fuck they're doing, how long they've been doing it. And on top of that, I want you to understand that it's likely they also have that mental complex in their head too, where they look at someone, they look up to someone, and they're wondering, oh wow, like how come I'm not like as good as this person, or as is whatever rich or whatever as this person, right? Everybody that we look up to looks up to somebody else who looks up to somebody else. That dynamic always exists. The difference between the person that never changes and the person that changes and achieves greatness is the fact that not only do they ask questions, but they don't compare. They gather inspiration. And I get it. Comparison is like it's a subconscious thing. We almost don't think about it. We just like feel immediately when we look at something. We feel, oh, I look at this picture, fuck, like, oh man, I wish I had these, arms, or I wish I had these shoulders. I wish, I had this Lamborghini or whatever. You look at the picture and it's the feeling comes to you. I get it. Like that's the comparison. But try to talk to that like negate that feeling as soon as it comes. As soon as it comes, it's like, okay, well, I feel whatever it is, envious, jealous, or ungrateful, or and I'm not saying this to like make you feel like a bad person, but I'm saying this in reality because this is how we think, whether you like it or not, and you know it, right? And if you know it, just nod your head behind the camera silently. But you could just, and what I'd recommend negating that thought by as soon as you think that, think, okay, well, that's beautiful, that's amazing, this is wonderful. But how do I achieve this on my own? Or how do I achieve happiness on a level like this? Assuming that it's happiness that you want to achieve. How do I achieve a physique like this? How do I achieve whatever it is, the finances, right? As opposed to, fuck, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'll never have this, I'll never have that, and then negatively comparing yourself to others. That's going to kill you. As I said, even our heroes are inspired by somebody, right? But the difference between them being a regular person and them being our hero was the fact that instead of them getting crushed by comparison, they were inspired by it, which is something that I'm still learning today and I'm getting better at, right? All of my inspirations, they exist. They're probably inspired by other people who are dead, right? But I look at these inspirations and I say to myself, I'm like, okay, well, this person was also in my, they also thought it was impossible and they did it. So if they can do it, I can do it. And then lo and behold, 10 years from now, there's going to be people trailing behind me wondering, how did this guy do it? How this natural guy, wow, he looks great. And then I'm here as I am now to tell you guys and girls how I do it, or to share it with you guys, because that's where the true power is, right? And the more we get these people in social media like that are just willing to like be open and honest and not like shit on other people and just flex, the easier it's going to be for people to stop comparing themselves, and the better results they'll be getting in their own life because they just negatively won't be as impacted. That's how I really think of it, right? So that's it. That's all, guys and girls. I'm gonna go run off, hit these legs, and I really do appreciate you guys and girls, each and every single one of you on each and every single platform, just for showing up consistently Monday to Friday and asking questions and giving me your support. I really do freaking appreciate it. And Brittany, it's nothing but love. I see you there on YouTube. Um, yeah, Brian. Brian says it. He says, very true. Social media has amplified our insecurities to be the best version of you. I fucking love that, actually. I love that you said that, Brian, because it's absolutely true. Like it amplifies your insecurities. It almost like shows all the holes in your armor that aren't really holes in your armor, because to be honest with you, no one's walking around with armor. That's something in your head. You think you have to be perfect. It's like, nah, you don't have to be perfect. The people that you're looking at aren't perfect. Matter of fact, they might even have more flaws than you. But the whole thing is that you only compare yourself to their glory because that's all they're showing you. And we already know that the cat has been out the box. Like the cat's been out the bag for a while. Everybody just posts their best moments on social media. We know that, but it still affects us, right? And it's either it affects us negatively or positively. And in my mind, I'm thinking the way that it affected me positively was it allowed me to be inspired and say, well, if this person comes from this position and they're able to get to that position, I have a fighting fucking chance. As opposed to, oh, they're in that position and I'm over here, oh, I can't do anything. That's the difference, right? So I wouldn't even blame social media. It's about the person and the mindset, right? Because then you can blame substances, you can blame like drugs and all that stuff, or people being addicted to them, but it's the people behind them that actually like use them. You know what I mean? And they use them because of those insecurities and things that they can't really control externally. I mean, you can't control the way you feel inside by drinking alcohol or smoking weed. That's some outside stuff. You got to control what's going on inside by working on what's inside, right? And by making it, I would say, possible or believable for you to actually understand that, like, the people that you look up to are not that far away from you. Matter of fact, you could be looking on the right hand side or the left hand side, and they're right there with you because we're all human beings. No one's above anyone. It just appears that way due to social media. And the way we digest it is completely up to us and our right. You got to be mature with this. All right. Homie asks a question. He says, "How to control certain emotions, like some people or like some sweet cravings." Again, it's case dependent for everybody. The way we all cope with things is different, right? I can't tell you because for me, for myself, like when I and again, it depends on the emotion too. When I'm feeling a certain emotion from somebody, I personally distance myself from them if it's a negative one. You know what I'm saying? And if it's like a craving, again, I would beat the craving by just not buying the food in the first place or putting it in the freezer, right? And that's just how I handle it. But other people would handle it differently, right? So I want you to message me personally, bro, because it sounds like you're dealing with a little bit of something, and I want to talk to you there. And I can't really generalize that as it's case specific case dependent. Brian, thank you so fucking much for showing up. I will see you in a couple of weeks. We're gonna have some fucking fun backstage. Shoot the shit like old days, man. I'm fucking loving it. You're looking amazing. You're looking really amazing, and I love to see your updates and stuff like that, man. You're really killing it. You're more than welcome. I'm gonna crush that leg day, guys and girls. Thank you so much. I'm gonna run out of here, and we'll be back again tomorrow with another live stream. You already know the deal. All right. I hope you guys and girls have the sickest freaking Monday of your life and start your week off with fucking fire. All right. Let's go. Peace, guys. We're out. Later.